All right, today we're going to tackle a problem that I know everyone in cybersecurity training has faced, the lab session that just goes completely off the rails. We're going to show you how to turn that frustrating, chaotic clicking into a professional, evidence-based workflow that actually builds your skills. I mean, you know the feeling, right? You spin up that VM, you've got your coffee steaming, you see a service that just screams easy win. But then, reality hits. The banner was lying, the proof of concept code you found totally fails, and suddenly you're not learning anymore, you're just clicking around hoping something, anything, sticks. And just like that, an hour is gone with nothing to show for it. Yeah, well today, we're going to fix that. We are going to lay out a simple, repeatable process that turns all that frustration into real, methodical progress and actual learning. So, what's really going on here? Well, it all comes down to a battle between two completely different mindsets when you approach a target machine. It's the difference between hoping for a lucky break and actually building a defensible case. So on one side, you've got what I call the chaos. This is where you grab onto a single clue, like a service banner, you throw some public exploit at it, and when it fails, you're just clicking around hoping for the best. But on the other side, that's the clarity. It's a professional approach built on researching signals, validating your hypotheses, and documenting your findings. This is where we want to be. And this is so important. The goal isn't just to get in. I mean, that's fun. But in the professional world, your real value, your real skill is building that clean, defensible chain of evidence. It's about being able to explain why you believe something is vulnerable and showing the exact steps you took to prove it. So, how do we do it? It's simple. It's a 3-step mantra. Research, validate, report. Seriously, this is the antidote to all that chaotic clicking. It's a workflow you can use for every single lab, every single time. All right, let's dive into step 1, research. This is all about building a solid foundation of clues before you even think about firing off an exploit. Honestly, this is where most battles are won or lost. The big idea here is something called triangulation. Look, instead of just blindly trusting one piece of info, like a service banner, which, let's be real, can totally lie to you, you build confidence by finding multiple, separate signals that all point to the same conclusion. So here's a super practical checklist you can use. First, what does the banner claim it is? Second, how does the service actually behave when you talk to it? And third, what can you learn from its configuration? The key goal here isn't just to list these things, but to see if they tell a consistent story. When they all line up, you've got a really strong hypothesis. Okay, so we've gathered our signals. Now it's time for phase 2, validation. This is where we shift gears from just gathering clues to building actual defensible evidence. We're going to turn our hypothesis into proof, but without, blowing everything up. I want you to think of this like a ladder. You always start on the bottom rung with low-impact tests. Just confirm the service is what you think it is. Then you can climb up a bit to medium-impact tests, see if its behavior matches the vulnerability you have in mind. And only at the very end do you climb to the top for the high-impact stuff, the things that might actually crash the service. This keeps your evidence clean and your lab environment stable. Okay, let me paint a picture for you. A story I think we've all lived. A learner fires up a machine, sees an old SMB service, and their brain just lights up. They think, oh, this is it, this is the one. The conclusion is already made. So what do? They grab the first public POC they find on Google, tweak a line or two, and fire away. And nothing. They try again. The service crashes. The VM reboots. And just like that, poof, an hour of their life is gone, and what have they learned? Absolutely nothing, except maybe how to crash a service. But then, on the second try, they do it differently. They use our new workflow. They actually slow down, they take timestamps, they take snapshots. And when a clue contradicts their idea, they don't fight it, they write it down. The result? It's calm, it's methodical, it's actual learning, not just drama. Even if the box is a dead end, the process works. All right, so let's put you in the driver's seat for a second. You're in the lab, your signals are all over the place, and your test just isn't working right. What's the professional move here? Do you just push harder and escalate, or do you hit pause and rethink? So this decision really comes down to a trade-off. Look, you can escalate carefully, but only if you have a couple of really solid, consistent signals and super clean notes. It might feel faster, but it's risky. The smarter move, the professional move, is almost always to pause and verify. I know, it feels slower in the moment, but trust me, it saves you hours of headaches later on. Okay, now for the part that really separates the hobbyists from the pros, the report. Documenting what you did isn't just about finishing the lab, it's about creating proof. Proof that you, your team, and your future self can actually trust. And look, a good report doesn't have to be a 50-page novel. It just needs a few key things: a quick scope statement, a high-level map of the services you found, the clues that led to your hypothesis, the steps you took to check it, and this part is so important, what actually happened, including the failures. That's your minimal proof pack. And here's the real magic. Instead of just writing "it worked," you write a little paragraph that explains why it worked. You're showing your thought process. See, language like this doesn't just state an outcome, it builds your credibility. It shows you have a professional mindset. So let's bring this all home. The real payoff here isn't just getting through one lab, it's about building a reusable toolkit and a whole new mindset that you can carry with you to every single challenge from here on out. And this one-page template, this is your key takeaway. It is an incredibly powerful tool. Before you even run a single command, you fill this out. It forces you to think through your scope, your signals, your hypothesis. It's a simple checklist that keeps you honest and organized from start to finish. Because at the end of the day, the goal of all of this isn't to make you a faster clicker. It's about becoming a calmer, more methodical, and way more effective operator, someone who builds solid evidence instead of just chasing an adrenaline rush. And that, right there, is the real power of this whole workflow. When you can clearly explain your reasoning and back it up with documented evidence, you're not just finishing boxes anymore. You're actively building a professional portfolio that really proves your skills. So, I'll leave you with this question. On your next lab, what will your report prove about you?